Welcome back. Our research team is now standing by with CNBC-TV18's list of top stocks to watch for the day. Good morning, everyone. Abhishek, let me start with you on SBI Cards. Why are we watching?
Well, credit card data for the month of Jan 2025 has come out from RBI. With respect to the industry momentum, total cards is up 0.8% YOY and about 9.5% month-on-month. So card issuances have been pretty strong. However, the spends are down 2.1% YOY and they are up 10.5% month-on-month. So average spend has declined nearly 2.8% YOY and is up about 1% on a month-on-month basis. For SBI Card, the total card is up, 1.2% on a YOY basis and about 10.1% on a month-on-month basis. However, the total spends are up only 2.7% YOY, but they are down about 5.5% on a month-on-month basis. So average spends for them is up 1.5% YOY, but they have declined massively by 14% plus on a month-on-month basis. So if you take a look at the market share of SBI Card on total cards, it's up to 18.8% versus 18.7% on a YOY basis and about 18.74% on a month-on-month basis comparison. Spends market share has declined massively on a month-on-month basis. It's down to 15.7% for the month of January versus 15% that they had on a year-on-year basis and versus 18.4% for the month of December. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Abhishek. So we'll keep an eye out on SBI Cards. Well, let's hop across to Timsi. She's here to tell us about United Spirits. Timsi?
Well, yes, as you mentioned, United Spirits is under watch, keeping the movement that we are hearing from sources on whether government could extend the similar duty concessions that it has offered to US-based bourbon whiskey to UK's Scotch imports, that is reducing the duties from current 150% to 100%, which would mean 50% of BCD plus 50% of agri-infra development cess. Currently, discussions are on, and soon a high-level meeting is expected at the PMO, including representatives from MEA, from Finance Ministry, Commerce Ministry, etc., to be part of these discussions to see whether this deal on imports of Scotch can be sweetened from current 150% to 100%. So that's why the stock is under watch. All of this is source-based information, so let's see how soon the meeting begins, or when is the meeting actually, and what is the final deal to close as part of the India-UK FTA talks.
Thank you, Timsi, for that. The market seems to like it. United Spirits closed at the day's high yesterday with a gain of nearly 3%. But Abhishek is back with us for the latest on public sector banks.
Rima, to begin with, government has invited bids for appointing lead managers or, broker, merchant bankers, etc. for the stake sale in selected, PSU banks as well as financial institutions. So, government has proposed a PSB divestment is what we have learned from, sources. They have requested for proposal for appointment of merchant bankers to deal with offer for sales. Now, the plan of government is to dilute about 25% stake in PSU banks as well as listed financial institutions, and this is at preliminary stage right now. So likely candidates for this would be IOB, that is Indian Overseas Bank, Central Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank as well as UCO Bank. Also on radar, New India Assurance and LIC could be, on radar, given the fact that they also need to meet the 75% requirement norms that SEBI has for listed entities. Back to you.
All right, Abhishek, thank you very much for that. More stocks with news flow. Hormuz is standing by with that list. Hormuz, morning.
Morning, Prashant, and a couple of names on the radar pertaining to the M&A. But before I get to that, Biocon is one of them. They've launched Biocon Biologics has launched the Yesintake biosimilar in the US, and that is used in the treatment of Crohn's disease, the ulcerative colitis, and other ailments. So it's a positive development there. Expect the stock to open in the green. And a couple of M&A announcements, as I just mentioned. AkzoNobel is one of them, which has approved the sale of its powder coatings business and the R&D center to its parent entity. It will be done for around 2,000 crores, and they'll seek shareholder approval for the same in the coming weeks. And additionally, they'll also acquire the IP rights of AkzoNobel's Coatings International BV, and that will be done by the Indian entity, and that will be done for a consideration of 1,150 crores. It's a procedural step for the trigger, the main trigger, which is the sale of its decorative paints business. So we'll see how the stock reacts, mostly in the green. And Camlin Fine also has announced the acquisition of a 100% stake in a company called WinPy. They're going to invest around 3.3 billion euros initially through the subscription of the illicit secured convertible bonds, and they'll execute a mandatory tender offer, is their word for an open offer, I guess, and that will be for 3.6 euros a share. So an acquisition from Camlin Fine, expect the stock to open positively as well.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Hormuz. Here's a quick recap of all the top stocks we just ran you through. The ones with positive news flow: United Spirits, Indian Overseas Bank, Central Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank, LIC, New India Assurance, Biocon, AkzoNobel, and Camlin Fine. All of them will be reacting to positive news flow, while SBI Cards will be the lone stock that will be reacting in the red. That's about all the equity market action. But for the time being, let's take a bit of a break and turn our attention to the commodity markets. Manisha Gupta joins us to tell us what's going on there. Morning, Manisha.
Morning, Nigel. Thank you for that. Well, I'll start with the gold prices, which are trading very close to its all-time highs. And we have seen the global tariffs lead to safe haven buying. The concerns on inflation also seem to be supporting prices. And the fact that the global ETF and the Indian ETF buying in sense of gold continues to be very, very strong. We've seen an all-time high in sense of net inflows in gold for the month of Jan, and the markets believe that Feb could be no different. What we haven't, the same strength is not what we are seeing in other metals. Silver prices fell a percentage point overnight. Copper prices are now trading at a 2-week lows. There is rising supplies in major trading hubs, and there's overcapacity in China as well, which seems to be putting pressure on prices. A quick word on crude oil prices, and after a 2.7% decline on Friday, Monday has seen some gains. So the overnight market's working with some bit of a positive cues right now. The street is looking at sanctions on Iran crude oil, and that is the latest trigger for these gains in the prices.
All right, Manisha, thank you very much for that. Commodities there with Manisha. We'll take a quick commercial break here. We're going to come back. Amnish Agarwal of Prabhudas Leather is going to be with us with some stock talk that's coming up right after this break.